Can Ukraine ensure the democratic integrity of its elections?
Coming elections on March 31 will be interesting months in Ukraine. We have the biggest quantity of candidates who registered. We have a new electoral commission, so we expect that its work will not be hard as it might be, despite the fact that it was formed late, and we had a lot of troubles with that. But we expect to have a really big troubles during electoral campaign of parliamentary elections. Unfortunately, current coalition has not adopted a new electoral code as it was promised in coalition agreement, as it was promised by current president. It wasn't adopted. It is still in the committee. It is still waiting for the second reading. And the problem is actually that it is much harder to control what is going on in small constituency in majoritarian system. And, for example, funds are not controlled there at all. So Russian interference may be much simpler on these constituencies, and probably we have to be ready to work with that hard, to have security there, and to know that elections were held according to all the procedures.
Are economic reform proposals of the leading candidates addressing key economic needs?
In our work, we also analyzed the platforms of top 10 candidates for presidential elections, and we tried to find out where they stand in areas that the president is responsible for, especially security and defense, international affairs, human rights area, social economic bloc. We understand that still president has influence on it. And speaking about economic reforms offered by candidates, I would like to mention that it is very sad that candidates do not understand their responsibility. And speaking about economic reforms, they tend to promise that much that can be implemented only if they have the majority in the parliament. And also, like, when we look at who those people are and how they are candidates, not all of them at all are party candidates. So it means that these people who want to be presidents, they say directly that they will not be able to do something, or they will move above the presidential competences. Still, it is a very popular bloc. Of course, looking at the sociology, people need more money for life, and the economy is not in the best situation. So it is very easy to be populistic about it, and a lot of candidates really say that they will reduce tariffs, for example, without saying for what money they can do that. It is good that several candidates mentioned the influence of security blocks, security offices in Ukraine, and they do not want it to have influence on economic sphere and on business. And this is a really good tendency. Not all of them, of course, but still this is mentioned in the platforms.
How will the elections impact resolution of the conflict in the East?
So what is also very important for us as a civil society organization is that candidates speak about what they are directly responsible for. Unfortunately, for example, in platforms of top 10 candidates, 4 of them do not have anything about Crimea. All of them, luckily, have some position on Donbas, and this is a good sign. But still, we do not have the concrete offers, like concrete solutions about it. Still, candidates tend to speak about it. Some of them say, like general statements, that we will bring Crimea back, or we will bring Donbas back to Ukraine, and stop the war. Some of them try to rely on international obligations, speak about Budapest Memorandum, and speak about Normand formats of communication. And most of them tend to reactivate the Budapest Memorandum in the format of Normand format, and so they understand where we are actually. But speaking about the elections themselves, we do not see the signs that something may go wrong. Of course, we are at the state of war in Ukraine, so we have to be ready to everything. But for now, the Central Election Commission does its best, and well, we hope that everything will go on